What is up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. I'm Brea Thorn, and it's that time. Hope y'all are doing well. Made some adjustments to things, so I'm gonna have to maybe make some fine tuning as the stream goes on, but that's just how it goes. Glad to see everybody here. What's going on? How are you? And honestly, a huge shout out to those of you who are here for the beginning of the streams. I appreciate you. If you've seen that starting soon animation like a dozen times or 100 times, thank you for sitting through that. But here we are. Hey, Skeeter Gaming, thank you for subscribing at Tier 1. Thank you for the Tier 1 sub. Let's go, nerds. Sub-anniversary. Well, 6 months. Not bad. 6 months. I'll take it. Looking over at YouTube land, what is going on? Alice, welcome. Cecil saying to hit the like button. Always giving that good advice. What's going on, Cecil? Robert, fix it. Welcome. Don't hit the like button, destroy it, but then no one else can use it, Robert. V for V made it on time. Hey, whenever you're here, you're on time. I tell you this. Daniel D's, welcome. Over in Twitch land, of course, Lone Vaquero. I'm somewhat convinced that Lone Vaquero 684 has a macro that as soon as I go live, types in first and hits enter. Wow. What's up? Braxton, welcome. How are you? Lycos 45. Glad to see you. Bergie 5, welcome. And of course, hello, Skeeter. I'm doing good, Bergie. Doing good. Just, here getting to talk about computers. Like, couldn't get any better, honestly. DJ Simple Green, welcome. Bone Shock, what's up? Super T30 has the slogan down. Clearly. Catchphrase. Fingers are just that fast. Well, congratulations, Vaquero. Bergie 5, thank you for continuing your gift sub from Sick PCs. Let's go, nerds. Thank you for doing that. You're official now. If you get a gift sub, it's just as official. But still, I appreciate you. Dragonfire over on YouTube, what's going on? Welcome. So we're doing the PC matchmaking again today. We'll see if we can make some good matchups. If you're here for help, awesome. If you're here to spectate, even more awesome. It can be somewhat hype at times. So that's why we keep doing it. Dark Force 2008, welcome. What's going on? Hope everybody had a merry Switchmas, as Austin John Plays said it. Who out there got a Switch 2 today? Doing good, thank you. Happy to hear that. I resisted the call to Switch 2 maybe for Christmas. Yeah, I didn't put in a pre-order, but early Father's Day gift, I guess. So I'm pretty happy, but mostly for two main reasons, actually. Faster loading times in Tears of the Kingdom, and Metroid Dread for the speedrun side of things. When I like, some of y'all know I like to do those now and then. Just throw out an any % speedrun on Sunday stream now and then. And those load times on Metroid Dread were killer. It can actually represent a few minutes off a speedrun if those are way faster. I haven't. Well, actually, no. They are. I tested it a little bit. But you guys can anticipate perhaps some Switch games on Sunday gaming streams now. Just saying. Not that I hadn't done that already, but I always wanted to play Tears of the Kingdom on stream, but it's such a long game. Unless you're player 5, then it's a very, very, very short game. What's this getting caught on? Stop getting caught on stuff. Stop it. Thank you. One cool thing that I found was for games that have the upgrade thing to make it switch to version or whatever. If you already have the membership, the Nintendo, which I do, the upgrade's free, which is pretty cool. Not super happy about them raising prices on video games, but I think they heard the rumblings of Rockstar potentially making GTA 6 $100, and they were like, "Well, our games are also games. We can do that." It's not the same in Nintendo. It's not the same. It's not the same as Rockstar's like multi-billion-dollar investment in GTA 6. Base player, what's up? In all my time buying iPhones on launch day, I've learned one thing: never be an early adopter. Wait for all the bugs to be ironed out. I mean, the Switch 2 is iterative. It's an iterative upgrade. The Switch is a known quantity. You would think the iPhone would be the same thing, but they call it the Nintendo polish for a reason. Nintendo generally releases things when they are good and ready. U.S. and China are almost at agreement in tariffs. How much is that going to affect the prices? Well, Cecil, it's gonna fluctuate. Some of the things that are on the market right now were purchased through the tariffs, so they're until those things are cleared out. Prices are going to increase, decrease, whatever. We'll see. Taquero, now I'm boycotting Nintendo for the $80 base game cost and the whole access key on the cartridges rather than the actual game itself. I haven't seen anything about that yet. We need to see what Switch 2 games look like on the cartridge. The whole thing, there was a whole... What I don't get is this. There was a whole thing in the Switch 2 presentation where they were talking about how much faster the cartridges are. Why would they do that? Why would they put the R&D and development into that if they're not going to have the software on the cartridge? So it doesn't make sense to me. It sounds like a whole bunch of hate-mongering nonsense. But it could be true. Who knows? But it really makes no sense to me, considering they had a whole segment about how much faster the new cartridges are. Why? Why would they do that? I ask you this. Dark Forest says, waiting for my build at Alexander PCs to stream. You mean they're going to stream it? Or are you going to get it then stream? Nintendo is charging for chat, right? Well, just you have to have the Nintendo Online account. The reason, here's the thing. For me, I like using the Switch hardware for their own emulators. There's a lot of classic games I would never have played otherwise because it wasn't on my radar. So I have the membership thing. What's up, Onware? How's it going? Oh, they're gonna stream it. When is that? What's up, Chris? How's it going? Don't know yet. Okay, got you. Okay, cool. Well, hey, I gotta say, it's a little bit sad to me that the culture around lots of people watching smaller PC companies build PCs on stream has shrunken so much. It kind of died out. We all know why. If you've been around for a while, you know why that happened. It sucks, One company ruined it for everybody else. It sucks. A lot of the thing about streaming builds, I pushed companies. I've been pushing companies to do live stream builds, and if that doesn't work, if that's not something that a company wants to do, or their volume is too high or whatever, my thought was to, at their build stations, just set up a thing to like it just record from one or two angles the PC being built, put that recording on the PC when they send it to the customer. Just put it right there in like their documents folder, and bam, you can watch your PC build at any time and see the work that went into it. Bass player, yep, that's the one. Yeah, but like goes 45, Nintendo is I mean, I guess you could say they're charging for chat. You have to have that online account, which that's nothing really new to the games industry to have an online account for online interactions. But yeah, TJ built mine live. It was nice to see that. Nice, Braxton. Very cool. They do have a lot of talented builders though. If you don't get TJ building it, I mean, why did it happen? I'm uninformed. It's just this whole thing. It was it's V for V. Just watch the documentary put out by Gamers Nexus on Artesian builds, and you'll see the whole thing. They covered it pretty well. I'm not talking about companies stop streaming builds. I'm talking about viewers not watching them anymore, just to watch them for entertainment. That was a thing that was growing, and it died out after that. And not just for that one company. I mean, it became a thing where it was like just passe, I guess, to go hang out and watch PCs being built. However, some companies still do it just to do it, so that at least the buyer can hang out, chat with the builder, all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. Skytech does pretty well with those. They used to be at a point where they were giving away a PC every week. Their streams were going off, and I don't know if they were affected by the same things, but yeah. No problem, V for V. It's pretty unfortunate story. At their peak, it was amazing, to be honest. It was onward. It was. It really was. It was very, very hype. There we go. All right, so I guess we'll take a look at the list and see how things are looking over there. Looks like we have looks like we have a couple of people who filled out the form. One was day before yesterday, and one was yesterday. So if you filled out the form, here is what you need to do to get your free help. Well, first off, for those who are here for help with a PC and you have not filled out the form yet, let me tell you how to do that. If you're watching on twitch.tv, okay, it's going to be popping up in chat. It popped up right up between Braxton and Dark Force 2008 right there, okay? It says, want help getting the right PC for your budget and needs, fill out this form. There's a link at the end of that paragraph. Click that link, fill out the form. If you're watching on YouTube, look at the description. It's the first thing linked in the description. Fill out that form, get yourself on the list, and I can help you out. Now, if you've already done that, and you're like, all right, hey, you're telling me to do something I already did. What's up with that? That's okay. All you have to do is, if you're watching on Twitch and you're following there, which is free, look at your emotes. There should be an emote under Braithorn there that says, I'm on the list. It's a free emote. Go ahead and click that emote, pop it in chat, and I'll see that. Now, on YouTube, I can't put that free emote there. They don't like giving out free stuff on YouTube. I would otherwise, but instead, just type out @Braithorn, I'm on the list. Why do you have to type out @Braithorn? Well, because it highlights the chat for me, make sure I see it. Because you see chat is flying by so fast, how else would I see it? It's just what I ask of you. So in case I need to refer back to it or anything, it's highlighted for me. Fingerprints on this. Oh, Lord. Here we go. So how's everybody's Thursday been? I mean, we're almost through the week. How's your week been? How's everything going with you? I mean, you hear from me all the time. What's going on with you guys? Chris, you got it. Have a safe drive home. Dragonfire. The highlight thing only works if you spell my name correctly, which is, I don't know what to tell you. It's on the stream. It's like right there. So it's like down there somewhere. But that's fine. I get what you're trying to do. I see you here. I'll highlight you as being here. It's okay. I'm just poking fun at you. Very busy week today. Was chilled too. Jordan qualified for the World Cup. Oh, congrats. Nice. Super T30. Lots of yard work this week. Yeah, it's that season. Onware, I know how busy your week has been. Working. Oh, damn it. Forgot to get the denoiser. When I was chatting with you about the denoiser, I was at a doctor's appointment with my mom. I took her to the doctor's office for an appointment she needed to do for her knee. So, yeah, I was a little distracted. Sorry. I need to do that still. Hope's doing well. We can do that later. Lol. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I know. No, it's okay, Dragonfire. I was just poking at you. It's okay. If you're new here, there's a back and forth between me and chat, and it is sometimes trolling, and it's totally fine. Don't ever let it bother you. All right. Gary Clinky, what's going on? Welcome. Work is busy. Hospital IT is always busy. Oh man, Bergie 5. Good Lord. Yeah, I can only imagine. I did some work, third-party IT work for doctor's offices. I can tell you, just from that, medical software is scary to me. It is scary. There's so much critical info there. I never fully got into like hospital IT, but I did work for some. Do some work for some general practitioners, things like that, dentist office, things like that. And they are very particular about their software. Okay, so Dragonfire has called out that they're on the list. Anybody else who is on the list and is waiting for help, you got to let me know. I won't automatically know. I'm looking at a few names of people who were here at some point and missed their turn, or I was ending stream or something like that. Like Cash, Wizard Tegan, Mr. Move Right, some of those names. If you're there lurking, you got to let me know you're here. I'm not just going to sit calling out names for 15 minutes. There's also the person who entered their form yesterday, Carter Rico. No, that was today. Wait, why does my computer show that it's the 6th? What are you doing, computer? But it shows it's the 5th in date and time. What the hell? Look, I'll show you. Well, you won't be able to see. Hold on. So right here, 5th of June, right? Well, let me do this real quick. And then down the bottom right, 506. Wait, do I have those? I have those backwards. That's why. I have the thing showing backwards. It's they got the month and day backwards. Should be 605. 0605. From what I'm used to. Never mind. Forget it. I'm just going to leave my camera off. Don't look at me. Oh, I need to adjust the chat thing. Hold on. Stop snapping like that. God, it snaps like it's like magnetic. Just chill out. Relax. All right, I'm gonna. Is gonna get rid of all the chats that are there, but we'll see if it works. Someone say something in Twitch chat. Oh, that's our date format. Yeah. All right. What's up, Dodger Dog? How's it going? Been binge watching Animal Kingdom. It's really good on Netflix. Nice. Ah, damn it! It's still cutting it off. We'll see if that works. Yo, how'd I do that? Almost perfectly. Almost perfectly. Why does it keep doing that? Like, no matter how much I adjust it. Here, let's see. That might do it. That might do it. Will it do it? Yeah, I guess that works. This has nothing to do with OBS. This is Stream Elements. It's a Stream Elements overlay. Cool thing about the Stream Elements overlay, when it works, is that I can just have all that stuff set up and put it, whether it's OBS or Streamlabs or it's Meld or whatever. I just put that URL in there and then my whole overlay is in there. But yeah, now that's how it should work. Yay! Now we have all this crap here. That looks great. I need Twitch chat to pick up the slack here on me because I just made a big old mess in that. In this here, that just looks great, doesn't it? Doesn't it look awesome? Don't we love it? All right. Okay, it's a glitch in the matrix. Absolutely. What's up, Sailor X? How's it going? So the reason that looks like that is because it's, as I was saying before, I don't want to have that empty part of the desktop anymore. I wanted to have it covered with chat or something. So there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. What's up, Kenneth? How's it going? Okay, so the person who filled out the form today was Carter Rico, and they filled out the form, looks like at 5:30, so a little early, but now they're late. But I guess we can get started on Dragonfire. Looks like it's going to be a Micro Center build. All right. So Dragonfire. Let's see here. So it looks like you listed your budget as $2,000 to $2,500. Could you tell me what the actual solid number is? Like the actual maximum amount of money dollars you can spend on your PC. Not a range, but just like Don't go over this number right here. What are we talking about? What's that number for you? Rico's Roughnecks. Oh, yeah. You want to live forever? Or do you want to know more? Oh, I got to check this one too. Hold up. Let's see. Does it break it? It kind of breaks it. I cover some of them. I guess I could just fix my... There we go. $24, just say $2,500. That's fine. $24.99. You're like, no, I want that dollar, not $2,500. $24.99. All right. Okay, and we're going to the Micro Center at Parkville, Maryland. Okay. Okay, first we got to see what kind of GPUs they have in stock. I have noticed Micro Center doing pretty well on GPU stock in a lot of locations. So, oops, that's not what I wanted to click. I wanted to click highest price. Okay. Boy, they got a lot of 5090s. Only a couple each of the 5090s, but damn. That Master Ice looks insane, but it's $3,000 gigabyte. Come on, man. God, these are all so expensive. What color did you want for the build? You want it in white. Nice. Okay. That might add a little cost to some of these, particularly the graphics card, by the way. But it's an option. Like you have this 5080 Aorus Master Ice. Now, oh, by the way, chat, I looked at this earlier. They want to do gaming and streaming. So there you go. Gaming and streaming. So what that means, by the way, Dragonfire, when you say that you want to do streaming, that means that we allocate some of the budget that you might ignore normally. Your motherboard, never a good thing. You should always put at least a little extra into your motherboard. That's the backbone of your whole system. We need to put a little extra into your motherboard. Make sure that it's a one that can accommodate a lot of USB devices right on the back I/O, and that it can accommodate internal capture cards, things like that you might be adding into there. If not right when you start streaming, then eventually, as you do more of it. Alucard just got here and is like immediately like 5070 Ti at highest would be the best option. Calm down. $2,500 build. We'll see. We'll see. You just basically busted in the door like, wait, no, you're wrong. You could do 5080, could do 5070 Ti. We'll see. TP to Loft. I always thought Zotac was the expensive one. Nope. They are one of the cheaper GPU companies. Yeah. Ish. But they make great GPUs. I had 75 XP last stream. What did I do wrong to lose 24 XP between that? What do you mean XP? Is this a thing for YouTube streaming now? XP? What's up, Anton? How's it going? Don't tell them to go to a new zone. This is the zone right here. They don't make as many insane models as a few years now. Good stuff now. DePierre, you're wrong until you're right. You could also go from being right to being wrong. I've done it. I've done it myself. freaking black shirt, never a good idea. Okay. Okay. Now, Alucard is right in one thing, that generally the 5080 versus a 5070 Ti the 5080 is not a great value. 5070 Ti offers the same amount of VRAM, a lot of the same performance with way less cost. But we'll have to see what's available. We got to see what's out there. Looks like the 5070 Ti Gigabyte Aero card is only $979. It is like nearly half the price. Not half, but just to be clear, the 5070 Ti is probably more than you need because you listed 1440p as your resolution. I'm going to go with this. The 5080 is excessive. It costs like $700 more and barely gives you any more performance at all. $2 hours in Microsoft customer support for an $8 refund. Well, you made $4 an hour. There you go. Now that I'm seeing like you can get the same aesthetic card and it's $700 cheaper, this is the way to go. In terms of performance loss, it's minimal. And then you still have $1,500 to build a solid system to support that GPU. There you go. Now, looking at the form here, you also listed that you are interested in upgrading your CPU over time. So we're probably going to stick with AMD on this. And for gaming and streaming, you can go 9700X. 9800X3D is an option, but at 1440p doesn't benefit you that much. You will save hundreds of dollars not getting that CPU. But we'll see. See that the problem with a streaming system is you can't really go with the bundle, because the bundles that Micro Center puts together with CPU, motherboard, and RAM, the bundles have usually pretty crappy motherboards. Not crappy. They're not crappy. Just not ideal for a streaming system. Let's see. Like, I found out stuff about this Aorus Elite B650 when it came to its PCIe layout. It was pretty disappointing, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that. Because if you're going to put an internal capture card at some point, like a PCIe capture card, you need to have PCIe slots that can support at least up to PCIe Gen 2 X4 or Gen 3 X. Well, you know, generally PCIe Gen 2 4 lanes X4 is what's needed. Even if it's if it's a higher generation of PCIe, like PCIe Gen 4 X1, that's still not enough. It needs to have those 4 lanes. So let's see what we got here. Both running at X1. Yeah. Now it'll fit it in there, but it's running at X1, supporting PCIe 3.0. That's not going to do. That will not do. Aesthetically, awesome, but in terms of using it for a streaming build, not so much. Yeah, just not a fan. Not a fan of most of these motherboards. Oh, well, that's nice. They have some 9800X3D and high-end motherboard combinations here, but they still put the same G.Skill Flare X5 32 gigs DDR5 6000 probably CL36 kits in there. Like, if you're gonna go high-end on the CPU, the motherboard, but like cheap out on the RAM, that's not a good bundle. And that, to be clear, that RAM is fine. It's good. It's good RAM. But like, you have the X870E ROG Strix motherboard. Lots of I/O on that thing. Very nice motherboard. You have the Gigabyte X870E Aorus Master. Great motherboard. And the X870E MPG Carbon. That one is insane. It's an insanely good motherboard with tons of IO. But that RAM is probably not what I would go with for a build of that caliber. But I mean, it'll fit within the budget. You have, I don't know. I would rather just go with a CPU that I actually recommend, like a 9700X. That'll perform about the same as a 9800X 3D in most AAA titles at 1440p. Like at 1440p, you lose the benefit of the X3D chip. Most and especially so at 4K if you ever get to that point. There is an upgrade option for it though, or there's an upgrade option for it. Yeah, that Gigabyte Ice motherboard though is where I have a problem. There's an option to upgrade the RAM. Okay. Oh, upgraded Corsair Vengeance RGB 32 gigs or 64 gigs for 130. That's what I would recommend. Mostly because as I'm trying out different games and doing different, as I'm streaming, doing things like that, I see the 32 gigs on this system really running out of, starting to run low on RAM as I'm streaming. I'm going to have to upgrade this thing to 64 gigs eventually because I tend to run more and more things. The average streamer probably not going to do that, to be clear. But as a streamer, you might start doing that, where you start getting more and more complex overlays, running more programs in the background, things like that. Now, if the budget doesn't allow for it, you just keep things kind of trim. You just keep things under control, and it's never a problem, really. And honestly, it's never like shut down on me or had any issues. 32 gigs is generally enough for streaming, to be clear, while gaming. But if the budget allows for it, get a little extra. You never know. Anton, that's a good twist on the "Why was 6 afraid of 7" joke. Good one. I canceled an old Minecraft Realm subscription last month, but I got charged yesterday for it, and I wasn't even getting the service itself, so I wanted a refund. You tell them. You get that money back. Okay, so it's an option to upgrade these ones here. It's just, I feel like the 9800X 3D is a waste of money at 1440p or higher, but I mean, if it's in the bundle, sure. So let's see. I guess whenever you go make your purchase, you have the option to upgrade for $130 to the 64 gigs. We'll just keep that in mind for the budget. Unfortunately, these don't really match the aesthetic. I would have preferred a white motherboard. So we'll keep those in mind. We're going to try doing just a build from scratch. And if we don't find a good white motherboard, then we'll go back to that. So 9700X is what I'm thinking. Could go 9800X 3D if you really want to, but consider that you're saving about like almost $200 off of it going with the 9700X. 9800X 3D is an option though. It's what I'm streaming on right now. So where would that benefit you though? Like where would you want that? So if you're mostly doing things at 1080p, at 1440p rather, but sometimes you want to game competitively and you go into CS2 and set the resolution at 1080p, even on your 1440p monitor. You set it to 1080p just to get it, make it easier for the game to give you more higher frame rate. You'll get the benefit of the 9800X 3D in that circumstance. RAM can just be easily upgraded later. On where the problem with upgrading RAM is that it's no longer really viable to just add more RAM. You generally want to get the right kit at the onset because you want to stick to 2 sticks of RAM. You don't want to just add to DDR5. Memory controllers are getting better, and it's still considered amongst my peers and amongst those who have tested all this stuff a best practice to just go with 2 sticks of RAM. So if you upgrade later, you're taking out the kit that you paid for originally and just setting it aside and putting in the new kit. And you can sell your older kit. Yes, you can do that. Let's look at motherboards then. Yeah, I wanted to see this one, the X870. We got the ROG X870A ROG Strix, and you got the Edge TI. So we're gonna take a look at some of these motherboards that I don't really get to look at very often. That's some pretty nice I/O right there. Pretty nice. 5 10 gigabit per second Type A's, dual USB 4s, 10 gigabit per second USB-C with power delivery, 4 USB Type A's that are 5 gigabit per second, Wi-Fi 7, 2.5 gig. At what price? At how much? $300. Not bad. Not bad. But we need to check a couple things. Like, I don't like the fact that you only have one expansion slot down here. That means that that's a big downside, because you have to choose between getting a USB expansion card if you find that you're getting a ton of USB devices and you want to connect more directly there, or you get a capture card. It's one or the other. Or say, like in this PC right here, I have a Elgato CamLink Pro, which is 4 HDMI 4K 30 inputs, and I have the AverMedia 4K something. What's it called? 4K 2.1, and that is a HDMI 2.1 internal capture card for capturing other PCs when I'm testing them. So I had that option. You wouldn't with this motherboard because you only have this one right here. This. Right there. So we're probably going to skip on that one, and we'll check out the MSI board right here. Read the review, because there's only one, apparently. Okay, still pretty good I/O. Now, you lose out on the... okay. I like this one a lot more, actually. So check this out. You have the same dual USB 4 and... so that's 40 gigabit per second Type C and 10 gigabit per second Type C right here. And you have still 5 USB Type A's that are 10 gigabit per second. Now you lose out on the 5 gigabit per second USB 3.0s right here. But what you get in exchange is 5 gigabit Ethernet. In case you ever get you get yourself some fiber internet. Mine's 5 gig. My internet is 5 gig. I could actually utilize this. And you have Wi-Fi 7 here. So this is really not bad. Let's see if they did the same dumb thing with the PCIe slots. I should have looked at that first. So this, as long as your card's not too fat right here, you should be okay. We just have to check how many lanes are there. Well, we can see the width of the card when we look at it. Let's take a look at the specs on the motherboard. Okay, 3 PCIe slots. Okay, so this should work right here. So you have PCIe Gen 4 by 4, and that is on the bottom one. That's perfect because that's where your capture card should go. The second one there is PCIe 3.0 X1, which is great for getting yourself a USB expansion card. Now the downside to that is you can't get the fast one. It'll be USB 3.0 speeds, basically 5 gigabit per second on those ports. But still, this can support that. Let's see what the measurements on the card that we've selected are. We're going to go and select this tentatively right here. But that's a pretty nice board. No kidding. Let's take a look at the GPU. Probably a good thing we didn't go for the 5080. That would be probably a thicker card. So this is a 2.5 slot card. So looking at the motherboard, you should be able to put that card. And here, let me show you something. So this is a card I'm putting into a PC here, and this is PCIe X1. So this is a smaller connector. Now you see, this is a full width card. So you get all of those ports right there, triple USB-C and 4 USB Type A's. These all only run at 5 gigabit per second. But Look at how short that card is. So it's not going to block the fan for your GPU very much at all, actually. It's just going to block a little bit of it. So there's cards like this. That's what I would put in there. And you have a ton more I/O then. Now, you might just basically just be like, yeah, I just want to play games and like have one camera and one stream deck. Sure. You don't need all that I/O then. I'm preparing you for in case you get really into having control surfaces, things like that. You're like, oh, I heard the pedals are really cool, so I can change scenes without moving my hands. Cool. That's another USB. Oh, I want a separate face cam for like a BRB cam or something like that. That's another USB port. It just keeps adding up over time. This is something I've heard time and time again from many, many, many streamer friends. Okay? It's not just me. I'm not crazy. Hey, Brian, my GPU release clip fell off my motherboard. What do? You can usually pop it back on there. Unless it is straight up broken. That motherboard's a bit too expensive for a 9700X IMHO. Okay. But it does the things we need it to do. And so does a 9700X. They wanted future upgradability for the CPU. Gaming and streaming at 1440p doesn't require more than a 9700X. Was the same true with DDR4? Knew you needed 2 sticks of RAM, but 4 sticks bad. With DDR4, it was much easier. You just add a matching kit, and it was fine. V for V, I, for one, liked 7. That Windows 7 was... I used XP a lot, but I thought 7 was a little nicer to use. I don't care if I get roasted by other old school PC people. I mean, I started on freaking Windows 95. Okay, like I thought Windows 7 was kind of the ultimate Windows to me. It was right before marketing took over at Microsoft. Remember Windows 8 and the tiles and all that crap? And they thought everyone was going to be using tablet PCs. And they just tried to advertise. Yeah, that was the beginning of the end there. Anyway, Alucard, I mean, that's the thing. You know what happens when someone tells me they're here for streaming. It means they invest more into their motherboard. It doesn't mean they have to invest more in their CPU necessarily. But you put a little bit more into your motherboard. I mean, look at the other options we were looking at. Some of them were like $100 less. You're adding more to the motherboard, yes, but you get more out of it. And it matches the aesthetic of the system. Only good thing about Windows 8.1 was that it ran so smoothly on my 2 gig laptop at the time. Guess it was good for something. Windows 95, Jesus H, you old. Lol, just kidding. I remember the 10 or 11 hard disks you had to go through to get the Windows 95 installation, lol. Technically, I started on a 10D 1000. So that, if that dates me, there you go. Upgraded 7 from XP. Wait, what? That disappeared while I was reading it. Okay. Interesting. Kalisman, what's up? Welcome. I upgraded to 7 from XP after it was out for a year, so I can't fully disagree with you. There you go. The other I was considering is the ASRock X870 Pro RS. Alucard, I don't know if you've been keeping up with the news lately, but when it comes to AMD and ASRock, I'm kind of staying away from that right now until they get the burning up CPU thing figured out. And that's, I know, is a 9800X3D, but it, you know me, I'm overly cautious when it's a situation where I say stuff, people spend money. Yeah. So I'm trying to avoid that for now. Windows 98 floppy install was like 24 disks, I recall. Yeah, it took a while. What's the significance of those letters at the end of the motherboard? It's the AE, or example, X870E. X870E is an AMD chipset thing. If it's an X870-E and it's an Asus, that's a version of their motherboard. -E, -A, -P, that's just for specific brands to denote different motherboards. But if you see X870E with no dash or anything, that is the highest end AMD chipset with the actual dual chipset setup. Okay, 64 gig ZR5 6000 CL30. If you see Trident Z5 Neo, that's what you want with AMD. That has the Expo profile on it. But that is also in black. Let's see if they have a silver. Oh, they got the Z5 Neo. 32 gigs. Let's go with, let's change this up. Let me just select the capacity we want and see what pops up. I'm just going to go 64 gigs. It should fit within the budget because we picked the right GPU. Actually, this Crucial Pro in white looks super clean. Let me see what you said about RGB. You want a lot of it. Damn it. I want the best gaming experience for my son with the option to stream since he's 16 because I know it's coming. Oh, okay. All right. Hey, feel free to say stuff like that earlier on. You know, that's fine. Because I've been overly prioritizing streaming, it seems. So Dragonfire, right at the beginning is where you say the stuff that goes at the beginning. That's my suggestion there. Is nice, but the CL40 timing is up. Yeah. I mean, I was saying it looks nice. It looks clean. Also, they want RGB anyway. Okay. Okay, so I can't really see myself recommending much more than the 5070 Ti for 1440p. You could game at 4K with that card. I do frequently on this PC. I play. I've been playing Expedition 33, which is a very graphically complex game on very high settings in 4K with the 5070 Ti. So you really don't need a 5080. That's a $700 expense you don't need. Don't want to go anything Corsair unless we go everything Corsair. So I guess we'll get the black Z5 Neo, which, let's look at the motherboard real quick. There are some black elements on the motherboard. It'll be just fine. It'll be fine on there. It's just a solid kit of RAM. That is only on the 9800X3D from what I recall. That is why I specifically said that after I said the first thing. I said, I know it's only for the 9800X3D. But I'm overly cautious. All right, Alucard. Again, the reason is because of this. X16 slots that are both running at X1. It's super lame, super dumb. I don't know why they did that. It's weak sauce. You can barely run anything on that. I mean, you're gonna plug X1 devices into a 16. Why did they make them fully sized if they're just one lane each? It's so stupid. It vastly changed my position on this motherboard. It really did, seeing that. Now, you can still get some decently helpful things for that, but most higher-end internal capture cards require X4. IO is not the problem, because as I said earlier, this card right here is X1, and it has 7 extra USB ports. That's not the problem. It's the capture card thing. You're drafting a version with it again? What, are you making a PC as I make a PC? Is that what you're doing? All right. Do 2 terabyte inland performance plus. Done. There you go. Guys, I'm thinking let's see if they have it, but I'm thinking a white Montec King 95 Pro. If they have it. There it is. They have one. Okay. I mean, the XR might make more sense. The reason for that is I don't know what. Okay, let me ask you this, Dragonfire. What size is the desk, your son's desk, or the desk your son's gonna have? Because I would suggest putting it on the desk, the PC. Don't put it on the floor. You might be diligent about not letting stuff sit on top of it, or cleaning around it, or cleaning inside of it, things like that. Your son might not be. So if I can, I think I might go with a narrower case for that reason, just so it doesn't take up as much space on the desk, and then it's more part of the setup that way. All right. Just for clarity, this is what I'm talking about right here. Oh, this is gonna be a terrible image. Why is it showing the? Oh, that's the black. Guys, I clicked on the black one. This is the case I'm thinking about right here. It's pretty solid on the RGB, and you're gonna have more RGB fans with the all-in-one liquid cooler that we put in there. Whatever you recommend. Neat. Okay. Anton, probably not much performance at all lost on that. A 9060 XT being on PCIe 4. Is it... Alucard, maybe you can check. Is a 9600 XT 8 or 16 lanes? They didn't do 4. I know they didn't do 4. All right, this will do for the case right here. Can we get a white power supply? What do we got? Who gave this a 1 star on the Seasonic PSU? I got to see what happened here. Oh, nice. Put a 1 star and do not explain yourself at all. I don't buy that. It's Seasonic, man. These things are super solid. Wish I could see the cables that come with it, though. 16 lanes. Yeah. Anton, you're not going to lose any performance from the 9060 XT being on PCIe 4. It's being fine. Yeah, I don't see someone putting a 1 star and then no explanation. That is not helpful at all. So we're just going to look this up. It has Cybernetics Gold rating. All right, let's here. GX 1000. Okay. It's going to take forever because they're ODMs for a lot of brands. ODM means Seasonic builds power supplies for other brands as well. And that brand just slaps their name on it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what we're looking at is the Seasonic Focus V4 GX 1000. It is an A-. That is an excellent score. Hell yeah. There you go. Screw you, person who put a 1-star review and did not explain anything. Get the hell out of here with that. This is why we just look it up. How much bigger is the King 95 case? Because it looks nice. It is a lot wider. It's a dual chamber case, so it's wider. So unless you have a large desk, it can kind of crowd you on the desk, and then you're like, I'll just put it on the floor, and then maintenance goes out the window, and it collects a lot more dust that way. When I asked you to give me your thoughts on that, you said whatever you recommend, instead of giving me an answer of, oh, his desk is going to be a 60-inch wide desk, or it's going to be a giant 80-inch wide desk, or something like that. You're just like, whatever you recommend. So I said, all right, if I'm not getting the info, I recommend the narrower case so that you're more likely to have it on the desk than on the floor. So, yeah. It's also a difference of $100 in price. I realized something, and you know, it's something I want to be clear about with y'all. I've been a lot harder on the 9800X 3D for the past little while now, and I think my reasoning for that, like my subconscious reasoning, I guess that's not really a thing, is that when the 9800X 3D first came out, GPU prices hadn't ballooned and skyrocketed. We didn't have the disastrous 50 series launch yet. We didn't, and we were starting to get to the point to where 40 series was getting harder to get back when I was doing the builds where I chose a 9800X 3D for the $2,000 system, and it made more sense at the time, because the 4070 Super could do a lot, and it was not expensive. It was great. Well, it was, I mean, every GPU is expensive now, but relative to insanely inflated prices now, I mean, look at the 5070 Ti we're looking at here. $979 for a card that NVIDIA announced very proudly was going to be $750. Thanks, NVIDIA. That right there makes the card like $250 more. Nearly. About $230, $250 more. Something like that. That's CPU money right there. So instead of putting that towards CPU, you got to put that towards the inflation on the GPU. So it made me step back and be like, all right, does this CPU make sense for that many people? And if someone comes in and they don't say they're going to be gaming at 1080p competitively, I'm like, you don't need X3D. In this economy? Are you kidding me? Like, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Saying that you have AMD, saying that you have the best gaming CPU is like saying that you have the best, windshield wiper fluid for NASCAR. Yeah, you can maybe use it, but a lot of higher level buyers are not going to need that because they're going to be gaming at higher resolutions. So yeah. It sort of changed my position and my mindset on X3D quite a bit. And it sort of broke me free of that marketing echo chamber where every reviewer was just like so happy there was some kind of good news, just an objectively good product, that all they focused on was the performance. And they weren't like, oh, it's nearly $500 and you really benefit at 1080p. Are you really going to spend that much on a CPU for 1080p gaming unless you're an esports athlete, an e-athlete, if you will? So that should explain my sort of shift in thought process there. Anyway. But we have a built PC here. Now again, Dragonfire, he does have a good sized desk. Okay, we can switch the case if you're okay with it being just a tad over budget. Doing that, we can do the King 95 Pro. It's the case I would choose if it was for me, but I have a large desk, so it makes sense for me. Now, the downside to this, first off, there's only one in stock, so they might not have it when you get there, okay? The downside to this is that in the picture, it's misrepresenting what you actually get. Because when you look at the actual product, or when you get the actual product, you'll find that it comes equipped with 6 fans included, and those aren't shown here. The side intake fans, bottom intake fans, and rear exhaust fan are all pre-installed. So because you're getting a parts list, I imagine you are going to build this together with your son, which is amazing. Very, very cool. You're going to have all those fans and all the cable routing for that done. All you have to do is put in all the other parts. And once you put in your all-in-one liquid cooler, you have a 360 millimeter AIO on that. And that's going to provide the 3 fans for the top for exhaust. So you're going to have all the fans in the case that you could possibly need. And it's all included in the price. It makes that price make a little bit more sense. But this does put it at $12 over budget. $12.92 over budget. I could make some changes to get it under budget. Instead of 64 gigs of RAM, I could put it to 32 gigs of RAM. If your son's more focused on gaming, that's not a problem. It shouldn't be an issue. In fact, even for streaming, it shouldn't be an issue. So I'm going to do that to get it back under budget and maybe get a more aesthetically pleasing kit of RAM for this build, for this white build. And it's going to be the correct specs in every other way. And 32 gigs is going to be, for the most part, more than you need. It's going to be fine. I just figured if it was in the budget, I should just go ahead and go higher, but no need for that. D6000 CL28. Ooh, this is a really nice kit. This is a Trident Z5 Royal Neo. It's a little pricey for what you get, though. But it's DR5 6000 CL28. Super low latency on that. And that Royal Neo means it also has Expo. That's an option right there. And there's also DDR5 6000 CL28 in this Team Group T-Force Delta RGB RAM. And this is, CL28 also. There's the Ripjaws M5 Neo. Man, they're throwing Neo on anything. Old G-Skill over there. But it's Ripjaws, not Flare. But it says Neo. So does that mean it has Expo? Hold up. Oh, memory profiles, AMD Expo. All right, let's go with this. It'll match perfectly. DDR5 6000 CL28. Nice. And now we're at 24.27 and 92 cents. There you go. All right, Dragonfire. I'm going to teach something about the form here. Oh, well, no. Actually, I'm wrong because you said pre-built. Oh, crap. Okay. I thought it was a parts list. How did I read? I even said that earlier. We can do a parts list at Micro Center. That's my bad. I need to teach myself about the form. Okay. So there is a same-day pro assembly fee. It is $250. So if we need to cut that out of the budget and make the budget $22.50, I can do that. I've already started to by doing 32 gigs of RAM. We can make some changes elsewhere, change the motherboard. If streaming is not a priority, that's fine. We don't need to go with this motherboard that is $420. We can go with one at a lower price. Let me check what they did. I think this is going to be the same story. I'm going to see what they did with the PCIe slots on this one. Damn. I hope it's not the same thing. Specification. I feel like it's going to be. I feel like I looked at this before and got upset. X2. And then this one's X4. This will do right here. This will be fine. Okay. All right. And it's $120 cheaper. There are 9 in stock. It's going to look nice. It's going to look gorgeous. Plus, here's another extra benefit, okay? You have a Gigabyte motherboard, and now that is going to perfectly match, because the Gigabyte Ice motherboard perfectly matches the 5070 Ti Aero card from Gigabyte. So the aesthetics are going to be perfect on that. Now we're at 2307. So basically, if you get it built by them, it's going to be 2557. And they'll do a same-day assembly for you. Now, here's what you're going to need to do. I don't know how I convinced myself that it was a parts list and not a pre-built. Okay, so here's what one thing that you'll need to tell Micro Center. Okay, is it okay that this is 2557 with the build fee included? Here, let's go ahead and click it. There it is, 2557 with the build fee included. When they're going to do the build for you, one thing that you'll want to do is request that they install Windows 11 Home, but not activate it. Windows 11 Home is $120 at retail, and there are OEM keys that you can buy online. I have a sponsor of mine that does do that, a YouTube sponsor that does do that, VIP CDK Deals. It's OEM Windows licenses. They're like $20-25 instead of $120. That's what I recommend. All you got to do is ask them, hey, please install Windows 11 Home, but don't activate it, and then they won't charge you for it. Now I have Alucard over in Twitch saying open box, and Peter Burston on YouTube saying open box. Yes, while you're there, you can ask if they have open box components, but that is going to be a wildcard thing. That's going to take you away from the thing that we've sort of carefully put together here. But hey, maybe there'll be an open box case that's in good condition where it's going to be $30 cheaper or something. Or I don't know. You know, any number of these parts could be available in open box over there. Just see when you get there. Another thing to consider is that you can add on 2 or 3 year system protection. That's an option. Not a necessity, but it does mean that if anything does happen to the PC, other than like I'm not talking about like if your son spills Mountain Dew on top of it or something, they don't cover that. That's unless maybe they do. I don't know. Parts and labor from day one, failures resulting from normal operating conditions, priority repair, no deductibles, hidden charges, out of pocket costs, and transferable if resold or given as a gift. Does not cover accidents or accidental damage, so keep that in mind. Anything else, though? Just from normal use. There you go. That's going to be covered. And they have it 2 years for $249 and 3 years for $279. Their warranty, if you don't get that, I think is like 30 or 60 days, something like that. Not spectacular, but actually, I wonder if that's included. That information is here. Let's see. Doesn't say anything. Doesn't say anything about that. But yeah, it's cool that they build it same day. You can go get this finished tomorrow. So that's pretty sweet. And Dragonfire, if you want, when you go there and say, hey, here's my list, here's my part, I want you all to build this, there you go. If you want them to do something like making it 64 gigs of RAM instead or whatever, they're great at giving advice too. So, but what I'm thinking is if it's primarily for gaming, 64 gigs is going to be excessive and unnecessary. No problem. There's a 9700X that's $239 if that helps out there. Status shows is opened. You can have the staff look into it for you. There you go. Ask them about that open box 9700X. There you go. Now, I am I'm going to show you how to save this. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to go here. You click the link I put in chat for you. Okay, that takes you to the build. You want to save this build or try adding it to cart, but not everything's going to show up because some of them are in-store only, like the GPU might be, stuff like that. So saving the build will require you to create a Micro Center account. Not a big deal. And the reason I need you to do that is in case anyone else comes into the stream that needs help with a Micro Center build, your build would get erased because I'm not saving it. You need to save it. So just saying, there you go. Man, I don't know. I'm off my game tonight, I think. Don't know what it is. Skeeter, thank you for the lurk. I appreciate you. I don't know. I guess Carter Rico never said they were here. And I don't have anyone else who is in chat who said that they're on the list. Am I already done for the night? What's going on? I got that hydrate just now, Skeeter, by the way. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I do feel like I'm a little off my game tonight. I feel like I'm not making the right choices right off the bat. Backseating is bothering me a little bit more than usual. It shouldn't. Just stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Okay, Anton has a Naruto joke for everyone. What do you call a young ninja who's just started learning their first jutsu? Just waiting for that punchline, Anton. Dark Force, thank you for the lurk. I think I'll keep repeating the question until we get the punchline. What do you call a young ninja who's just started learning their first jutsu? No pressure, Anton. No pressure. A shinobi. There you go. There it is. Was that loud enough? Sorry, I turned off the. I don't have the sad trombone one, so there you go. Don't worry. This is good. It's very good. Very good. Colisma says, have you seen the Micro Center in Santa Clara? I was supposed to be there for the grand opening, but I was not able to. On my way back from Computex, I was supposed to stop off for a few days in San Francisco, hang out with the guys from PC World, hang out with a couple streamer friends, and I got blocked on that. Could not do it. So even though I haven't seen it, I still believe it exists. Anton, I think it was great. I think that was just fine. That was a good one. Redeemed timeout somebody else. Who redeemed it? Okay. Your powers are mine. Robert, you have to say who to time out. And if you don't, well, guess who gets timed out? You have 5 seconds to say who gets the timeout. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Robert, your timeout got reflected. It had no target. You were timed out for a short period of time. We'll see you soon. Dragonfire, thanks again. We'll let you know how it goes getting this build. Thanks for not roasting me too bad. No, you're good. Dragonfire, also, did you save the build? I need to know if you saved it so I can clear the build. Let me know once you have it saved. We won't move on until you do. Just want to make sure you get that. I don't want all that. I don't want your, to have wasted your time on that. Uh-oh, Robert just moved over to YouTube chat instead of taking that timeout punishment like you should. Oh, boy. I wonder how long the timeout is here. 5 minutes. Okay, that'll work. There you go, Robert. Oh, boy. Multi-universal timeout. I think that's a first. So with my promotion, I got my own office and got to deck it out. Just finished today. Can you guess the theme? Battlestar Galactica? Just throwing that out there. Yes, it's saved. Awesome. Robert, you're lucky. The timeout on Twitch is 10 minutes. You got 5 minutes on YouTube. There you go. All right, cool. Thank you very much, Dragonfire. And let me know how that turns out. Japanese themed with a fountain and Zen garden bonsai tree and 2 hanging anime wall art. Nice. Yeah. That's generally going to be my second guess there, for sure. Since it is your workspace, though, I hope you went tasteful on the anime wall art. This weekend will be held. It's a pre-release for Magic Final Fantasy. Oh boy. I'm glad I'm not into TCG. There was a close one for me in my younger days. It was very close. Almost got way into that. Maybe Robert was trying to tell you who he timed out, man. Nope. They said something completely different. They did not say a name of another user at any point. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to redeem, time out someone else, and your message is supposed to be name, username. That's it. And that was nowhere on the Twitch side of things or the YouTube side of things. Rob Medina, what's going on? Welcome. Also, a picture of a cat eating ramen. Nice. Naruto villages, headband symbols, and Akatsuki symbols. If you know, you know. Yep. Nice. Triple B, you know I know because I'm not here saying Akatsuki. Yeah. Actually know how to pronounce it. So far, all my employees and fellow directors say they're going to hide in my office to chill out. Sweet. You need to get yourself one of those giant bean bags. You'll never get rid of them. What are they called? There's this company that made Sumo. I always wanted a Sumo. I always wanted one of those. It'll be fun, but I wish the product were more reasonably priced. It's Wizards of the Coast, right? Yeah, good luck. And also, I'll say this, Triple B, all you got to do is then have a little TV there and just play my VODs on loop. There you go. Now it's a nerd cave. Now your nerd cave is complete. So I got 100 XP. How after that happened? Anyways, thanks, Braythorn. I would have been happy. We just got my 25 XP lost back. I didn't give them. I'm not here handing out XP. All right, now level up your character. Like, I'm not a DM here. I'm just a streamer. I don't know what YouTube is doing. I don't know what they're thinking with this stuff. I wish I could remember, guys, back before I had my 9-month hiatus. Okay, if you think the current hiatus from long-form content is bad, I had a 9-month hiatus from streaming when I first moved to this house because I was trying to build a studio in the garage and it wasn't going well. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll build something in here or I'll do something in here. And I had a lot of personal issues, a lot of stuff coming up where I was still doing some videos, but I was not doing streaming. And before that happened, though, the streams were going off on Twitch. That was also when I was trying to figure out streaming on YouTube at the same time. So I hadn't streamed on YouTube yet at that time. Anyway, the streams are going off. We were triple digits a lot, quite frequently, and we were just getting a lot of viewership. And one of the viewers that would come in was actually an account for a rec center or something on a military base. It was like a LAN center on a military base, and they would just have my streams playing. And it was really cool. I was like, yo, what's up? Thank you. You know, it's a typical thing to say. So thanks for your service, guys. Hope you're chilling out, having a good time. It was really cool. I missed that. And that was because of a specific viewer. And it was so long ago, I can't even remember their name, and I feel terrible about that. But they may have been deployed elsewhere or something like that. So they're not at that base anymore. But yeah, I mean, with me not streaming for so long, I can see why I got out of the rotation for a lot of people. I got out of the they got out of the habit of watching for my streams, you know. The booster pack serotonin hit. It's dangerous. A dark path. Oh yeah. It's the ring-shaped molecules in the card finish. They're putting ringworm in there. I guess chatting on live streams leveled up my live stream character. I'm here. Oh, okay. I hope you're kidding about. Yeah, you're kidding about all of that. All right. Is that the little speaker thing? The Devoom? Can't find it, but I think that's what it is. Oh, I misspelled it. Hold on. Yep, the retro pixel art Bluetooth speaker. Is that what that is? That's what it was. Or is it the display? The pixel display. Top begins. Next thing you know, you got a warehouse full of product. So that goes for everybody, I guess. Yeah, that's it. I love that thing. Speaker plus pixel display. Very nice. I saw a YouTuber who made a giant pixel display wall of their own, which was really cool. I was like, that would be a really cool background for videos, but man, the lighting must be the backlighting must be difficult to contend with. You know what's sad? My PC's worth more money than my O1 Camry. How the heck is our computer so expensive? It's just inflation and them seeing, oh, people are willing to pay that. It really started with the scalping in the like 2001 era for GPUs, and NVIDIA seeing what people and all hardware manufacturers seeing just what people are willing to pay. You'll notice if you go back to that era and you look at motherboard generation to generation, motherboard pricing also spiked like crazy right after that. After that all ended, once they realized what people are willing to shell out for PC hardware, it pretty much inflated across the board. Skeeter, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Let's take a look at our... No one's entered anything on the list. I don't know. I mean, if we're not PC matchmaking, I feel like the title of the stream and all that is a lie. Doing one in a whole stream sounds crazy. I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you why this is happening. Everybody spent their money on a freaking Switch 2. That's what happened. Braythorn, ask Google to turn off the XP system on YouTube. I think it's going to lead to a lot of virtual RAM downloading, and our landlines cannot take the load. Does not have the power. Just get better internet. Get good. I don't know. I think the XP thing's fine. I don't see a problem with it. I don't know how we can have 2 people at level 3, but we do. I don't know. It's whatever. I still like PC better than console. Just wish it was more affordable. I feel you. And yeah, I mean, it's a big deal when someone's like, "Oh, PC gaming is so much better," and then you show them all the ways that it's better, and they're like, "Oh, cool. I want to get into that." Oh, we forgot to mention it's like deadly expensive. It's crazy expensive. Aldous VO says, "Lol." Is that because I was talking about how I'm not helping anyone because no one's asking for help? I built the PC back in 2012. The motherboard was the second cheapest thing on my parts list, $80, and it wasn't bottom of the barrel. Sounds about right. Versatility of today's PCs, I find it more useful than a better beater car. Those Japanese vehicles last forever, though. They do. Our main car is a 2012 Camry, so yeah. You should stream Slay the Spire. If I play anything on stream, it's probably going to be Switch 2 stuff now. Guys, I can't even tell you how much better Tears of the Kingdom looks at 4K 60. How much better it looks and feels at 4K 60. Like you might think it's not a big deal. There were people who were willing to get banned on their Nintendo accounts just to like emulate that game to play it at 60 FPS at 4K, actual 4K. It looks so freaking good. But welcome, Kenneth. I guess on maybe both streams. What's up? Also, we had someone fill out the form. So, yeah. And it would be the first one involving the Santa Clara Micro Center. So I need to see, is Cicero here? Cicero. Is Cicero here? You just filled out the form. Appreciate you being over here and over there. Thank you, Kenneth. Lots of good bottom of the barrel mobos now. The only difference between an overpriced motherboard and the value ones is features and overclocking capabilities. I mean, yeah, the problem is a lot of this has gotten a little bit better, but at some point they put rear IO behind a paywall and stopped Asus was really bad about it, and they've been doing it for a while like that actually. But all right, Cicero is here. Awesome. Okay. And again, this is our first time doing anything with the Santa Clara Micro Center. And you want a now I'm clear on this. I'm not getting it wrong this time. You actually do want a parts list. You don't want them to build it for you. You want to build the thing. So I missed out on Santa Clara Micro Center grand opening over 2 hours away. Yeah, that sucks. I am a little bit more than 2 hours away from there. I'm across, halfway across the country. So, Cicero, let's get into this. So let me ask you this to start out with. You put the budget range from $3,500 to $4,000. What is the actual max budget for your build? Like the maximum solid amount, not a range. Like, oh, $3,800 or $3,850. What's your actual budget for the system? The maximum budget. You're not going to raise it on me later. What's that number? Going for an RTX 5080 all Lian Li build from Micro Center. All right, cool. You already know you're putting money into that. For gaming and racing sim / flight sim. So we can't completely ignore Motherboard IO. You do need to have decent IO for racing sim or flight sim, just for connecting all your control surfaces, things like that. So yeah, either way, 3,800. Hey, I guessed it right. How about that? All right, I'm glad that we got the build saved earlier because I'm clearing this out now. There we go. So $3,800 and no build fee involved at Micro Center. You can buy a lot with that. So let's see anything else. 4K resolution, of course. A lot of RGB. You're going all Lian Li, so that means a solid amount. That's why you're not like you could minimize everything else and basically you could probably get a 5090 if they had it. Because you would have a 5090 and $1,000 left for the rest of your PC. But with Lian Li, case, fans, everything, cooler, everything, you're putting a solid chunk of money towards the aesthetics of your PC. But you're still going to enjoy the hell out of it. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, $29.19. That's probably going to be the cheapest 1590 on the block there. Let's see what we got in stock here. I went lowest price. I'm going to go highest price. There we go. There we go. All right. Yeah, cheapest 5090 is $2,759. That leaves you just about $1,040 for the rest of your PC. And that would mean going with a more budget on the case, fans, cooler, all that stuff. So if you want to go all out on the aesthetics, then yeah. Oh, wow, they have the liquid-cooled 5080. That's pretty sweet. What color are you going for your build? Let's see. You're going with a black build? Okay. Okay. Any preference on the 5080? Let's just specifically look for those. What's up, Tanmay? How's it going? Dan, the 5090 is the price of my computer. Yeah, they're crazy. And I tell most people, you do not need a 5090 unless you're doing gaming and creative tasks of some kind or AI stuff. Like, just forget the 5090 otherwise, because it's the price of basically two 5080s. Seriously, it's insane. So you got the Zotac 5080 gaming solid right here, or you have the Asus Prime, both for $13.99. MSI Trio, all right, sure. What's the price difference there? MSI Gaming Trio, $16.14. Are you willing to pay that extra $300 for the Trio? If that's the case, go for it. MSI RTX 5080 Gaming Trio OC. Got it. See here, I don't mind doing a 9800 X3D. It's a $3,800 computer. That couple $100 extra for the X3D, it's not going to make a difference at 4K, but it's a no compromise PC. That's when it's like, yeah, all right, yeah. We can look at one of these bundles with the higher end motherboards in it. Not needed, but the one with an why is it? Why are the MSI ones X670E? Nah. I would like to get you one. I would like to just build this with a nicer MSI motherboard. Oh, here we go. X870E MAG Tomahawk Wi-Fi with 32 gigs GDDR5. But this is a 9950X. That's the wrong CPU. All right, that's the opposite CPU than what you get. Let's just build it part by part. Getting the Asus motherboard with the MSI Gaming Trio card. That card has RGB. That motherboard has RGB. Both of them are going to want you to have their software to run that RGB. So we then instead make sure we get an MSI motherboard. Oh, doesn't seem like they have an MSI motherboard with RGB on it. So what are they doing with their MSI stock? What's going on here? I guess we can go with the X870E MAG Tomahawk Wi-Fi. All right, V for V, thanks for hanging out. Is the US pricing close to MSRP? No. No. Not at all. MSRP for a 5080 was supposed to start at $999. The lowest price 5080 was $1399. $400 more. Okay. Now I'm looking at this motherboard here, so that your onboard RGB controls, things like that, and the GPU itself can be controlled via MSI's software. You could always just use Signal RGB, but that might not pick up things like the GPU itself. But this is the MSI motherboard that they have there. Are you okay with these sort of greenish highlights being on the motherboard? Basically, you do have 4 M.2 sockets on there, which is nice. It is a nice motherboard, and enough I/O for you're generally going to be enough I/O for something like a rig, racing setup, racing sim or flight sim, especially because some of the nicer ones come with their own optimized hubs, USB hubs, and you have with this dual USB 4 in case it requires USB Type-C for that hub, or a 10 gigabit per second USB-C as well. Plus you have 5 gig Ethernet, Wi-Fi 7, all the good stuff. For the 9060 XT 16 gig. I don't know. That's $329. That's not what I'm looking up right now, so I don't know. I'll have to look that up later. Well, I'm not sure if you're cool with this motherboard, but I'm going to go ahead and hit select. I hope you're good with it. If you go with, say, in this case, if you want to go with a GPU that has RGB on it, try to match it to the motherboard, is what I'm saying. So if you're like, I don't like that motherboard, well, that's what they have in stock, and you could just order your motherboard from anywhere because you're building this yourself. The only downside is if your motherboard's DOA and you ordered it online, you got to ship it back, wait for the RMA, they ship back to you. It's just, if you have a Micro Center there, it's just better to get it there. If any part is DOA, you just drive it right back to them. You okay with it? Cool, cool. We are still good to go on the budget, so let's do... You know what? Before I do RAM or anything else, we're going to do the case and all of the fans you need for it. Let's make sure they got it. So we have the O11 Evo RGB. I'm hoping that's the one you were thinking, right? In black. Let's just see all the Lian Li cases they have. Oh, they got the freaking desk case. There's your Lian Li case. All right, I'm selecting that. It's $12.99. They also have the O11D Evo RGB Lamborghini edition if you want to go that route. They have two of those in stock. And they don't come with fans. They come with like a plaque on the back or something. The sort of chrome look to that, carbon fiber look to the side panel there. And it is $180 more. Which one did you want? The O11 Evo RGB? I'm guessing that. If it's Lamborghini, just tell me, I'll go back and change it. I have seen that case. It is pretty nice. It is pretty nice. Okay, so do that. Let's go do the fans. They need to have all of the reverse flow fans that you need. You need 6 reverse flow fans, 3 for the side intake, 3 for the bottom intake. I'm trying to get all this out of the way so that, yeah, we can use the rest of the budget for everything else. Now, did you want the LCD screen fans? They have them in reverse blade right here. I wouldn't suggest putting that on the bottom, but you could put them on the side. I'm not a big promoter of the LCD fans. It's not a big thing for me. No LCDs. Got it. All right. So airflow. Okay. They don't have reverse, do they? I'll just search it. Okay. So they have the SL Infinities in reverse. They have the wireless ones. Yeah, could do that. There's more than enough kits of that. It is nice because you just run power to them. And then you have to have this. Let me show you this. Right here. That's your RGB controller right there. So you run power and that's it. And this just does all the RGB for you. If I win the lottery, I'll buy a 5090 for you, Alucard. I have not bought a lottery ticket in 30 plus years. I was about to be like, hey, what about me? You know what? After hearing that second part, yeah, okay. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Oh, Robert, enjoyed your time out. Got some ramen noodles. Nice. I did not know how that worked. We'll learn somehow. True. And hey, we're not mean about it. It's just like, hey, these are the rules. They are unspoken rules, I guess. Okay, so we'll go with the with these wireless ones. It's the ones that they have in 3 packs consistently. Because these you have to buy individually. And that's going to come out to more than buying the wireless ones. Or about the same. Off by like $2. So might as well. So we'll select that. We'll make the quantity 2. No, not 3. 2. And then, okay, we got to see what coolers they have. Oh, sick. They have that? Really? They'll sell you a cooler with the LCD cooler without fans. That's brilliant because then you buy the right fans for it. I was like, man, how am I going to match those wireless fans to this? Well, yeah, there you go. Found a Mazda RX 800 car cover that's been parked for years. Asked me wanted to sell it. I think it has your name on it. I love me a rotary, but I know how many gremlins the RX-8 has on it. It is a gremlin-filled car. Yeah, very cool, but I don't know if I'd do it. I'm playing GTA 4 while watching your stream, man. I miss the early 2000s. Great times. Nico Bellic is a class act. That game was great. That was a great game. I was willing to build a PC for the kids. I was that kid 30 years ago. Hey, what? Oh, when was that? What did I miss? Okay. I guess you're building a PC. Cool. There is only one of these. Just to be clear. But the version with... Actually, check this out. The version with fans, there's just these black fans. It is $15 more. And there's 0 in stock. Well, cool. Again, Micro Center, when people select 14 in stock at Santa Clara store, when they select in stock, if it has 0 stock, that should not show up because then I get excited and angry in that order. All right, so we got our cooler. If anything, you can order that. That you can order. Yeah, let's see if we can find the standard flow wireless fans. Brand should still be... No, okay, Lee & Lee. And there are the... No, those are reverse blade. Okay. Reverse blade. Okay, I guess it's just these individually sold. There's not. I guess there's not a 3-pack for these, which is fine because you need to buy 4 of them. Wait a minute. Reverse blade. Okay, actually, here it is right here. Oh, these are LCD. Damn it. Enough with the LCDs. Nobody wants them. They're great for display pieces. They're great for showcase PCs. But, like, the average person does not want to spend an extra $50, $55 on 3 tiny LCDs that you don't know what to do with. So let's make it 4 of these. There you go. So that's 1 for exhaust and 3 for that AIO. I never played that one either, actually. So now with the cooler, with all the fans, I guess here's my one query though. Do either of these come with a controller? So what I needed to do, the reason I have this is because the person who bought the, this was an add-on that delayed me shipping it out to them till after Computex, till now actually, but I'm still setting this up, requested that they have the strimmer cables, the RGB cables. And I had to specifically choose a 24-pin cable that came with the controller. I need to see if either of these 3-packs come with a controller. Otherwise, you'll need to buy the controller separately, probably. Yeah, I don't think this has it. Cool. That's the only review that has any words in it. All right. Heck, maybe we'll throw some strimmer cables in there and you can get the controller with that. It's for Fallout, so I have to figure out what that is. Oh, Fallout's great. Depends on which Fallout it is, though. Let's see. Select cables and adapters. Let's see. See this? Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. Lean Lead 24-pin motherboard strimmer wireless RGB power cable without RF controller. Ugh. And they don't have Lean Lead listed as an option. So let me put... These do look insane, though. They look insane. Okay, here's the one with the controller. They only have the 24-pin, though. They do not have the 12V 2x6. They don't have that one. Ah, great. Well, yeah, it just goes to show you that you need the controller. So let's see if they have that, I guess. RF controller. Yeah, they don't have the controller by itself. You can order that on Amazon, I'm sure. Let me just check that real quick. Okay, it is $20 on Amazon. There you go. $20 on Amazon. All you got to do is search up Lean Lee wireless controller on Amazon, and that'll get that controller for those fans for you for $20. There you go. I'm glad that we got another build in. I didn't want to just do one for the whole thing. Okay, we still got to do the rest of the build, guys. Let's go do that. So we still have just about $700 left. So, and that's just to go to RAM, storage, and power supply. I think we're going to be good on this. So, should we do 64 gigs just to do it? Don't have to, but I mean, games are getting less and less optimized as the years go on. So, why not? It's an overkill build. So, yeah. Z5 Neo, Z5 6000, CL30, CL34. Yeah, we'll go with the CL30. Keep it nice and stable. That's done, but if your RGB streamer is broken, you don't need to buy the controller separately. Yeah. I mean, basically, you need that thing, but you can add on kind of an unlimited amount of... I wonder if you had two PCs next to each other, if that one controller could do both of them. Oh, man, that would be so freaking cool. Let's go 4 terabytes on this. Since this is just a gaming PC, and yes, I know, racing sim, flight sim, I doubt you're ever going to run out of storage here unless you start adding other use cases for your PC. But inline performance plus 4 terabytes, it's plenty fast. We could look at something faster, though, because on this motherboard, let's see what we got for storage specifications. You should have... Cool. Thank you for not actually telling me what they are. Let's see what we got for our storage options. If there's PCIe Gen 5, let's go crazy. Let's throw that in there. Specification. And storage for M.2. And then you have M.2 underscore 1. M.2 1 is from CPU up to PCIe 5.0 x4. Now, there's a second one that is up to PCIe 5.0 x4. I imagine that is going to... Yeah. Okay. Actually, no. Okay, the USB 4 40 gigabit per second Type-C ports in the back panel and M.2 slot share PCIe 5.0 bandwidth. Okay, so don't use the secondary slot. Use the first, third, and fourth. But we can put a PCIe Gen 5 M.2 drive in the top slot, and it will run at PCIe Gen 5 with no bifurcation, right? Yeah, I don't see anything for bifurcation for the PCIe slots. Sweet. Interface, PCIe Gen 5x4. Let's see what we got. 2 terabytes. Oof, man, the pricing is going to be more expensive. Yeah. So this, instead of going with 4 terabytes, you probably don't need, since this is a dedicated gaming PC. And you're probably going to run, since you're doing sim stuff, you're going to be running specific games. You can add storage later. Let's go with very, very fast, although it's not going to benefit you too much in gaming. Again, overkill PC. 2 terabyte 9100 Pro. And that is going to be right here. Let's do it. There you go. And if you're there and you're getting your parts and you're just like, let me just get the Inland Performance Plus. I didn't need all that PCIe Gen 5 stuff. I mean, you're going to be buying these parts. So you can choose whatever you want. Power supply now. And we're going to go Lee and Lee. Brand. They don't have the Lee and Lee power supplies. Good job, Micro Center. Well done. Interesting. I guess we just go see Sonic. Really, the only one that is specified for ATX 3.1 is the white one. Nice. All right, see Sonic, you're out. It's not their fault, to be clear. Let me see these Thermaltake ones and see how they're doing on ATX 3.0. I guess Corsair. ATX 3.1 compatible across the board. There you go. That's how you do it. Let's... Oh, they got the Shift series. Not great for that kind of build. Actually, the Lee and Lee one would have been optimal. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Wait, what the hell? Wait a minute. What do you mean compatible? I'm not looking at a parts list here. Where are all the Lee and Lee power supplies? They're making nice power supplies that are well rated too. But this is the only one that's showing up. Are you kidding me? Forget it. Forget it. Never mind. We'll just look at what's here. I would do the extra like $30 for this one because this one's newer. It's cybernetics rated. They're both ATX. This is ATX 3.1 instead of 3.0. There you go. 1,000 watts should have you covered with a 5080. Just 2 terabytes enough. Awesome. Yeah, 1,000 watts is more than what's required. I mean, it's more than what's recommended for a 5080. So good. And that's your build. All the fans, everything's covered here. All included. The only thing that's not included is the controller for your fans, which we talked about. You just search Lee & Lee wireless controller on Amazon. It's $20. It looks like this. Like that. Well, it has a little cover on it. So it looks like that. In the pictures. That's what you need. What's going on with if your RGB streamers? Okay, yeah. When are those newer Lee & Lee PSUs releasing? We never get Lee & Lee stuff here in India, at least the good stuff. They're allowed to use them in the past with standard 5-volt ARGB2 with an adapter that might be included. Yeah, yes. But the point is that you're not wiring all that stuff up. Well, so the retracing. I heard people's PCs are struggling to play Doom the Dark Ages because of it's ray tracing, Cecil. Ray tracing. Doom Dark Ages still has to get a path tracing update, so time will tell. But the game runs well on all hardware, just not as well as non-ray traced Doom Eternal, but good enough. Yeah, okay. I wasn't caught up to that, so I'm glad you answered that. Okay, so that's a sick build right there. I mean, basically in every sense of it. It's overkill in every way, so that's awesome. Keep in mind, they say they only have one Hydra Shift fanless AIO in stock. That might not be there when you go to get your stuff. You just order it then. Let me see if... Let me see. And it's available on Amazon. Look at that. A little bit delayed on the shipping, like a week delayed, but yeah, you can get it. And it's $165 on Amazon, in case the one here is not there when you're there. So let's get you the link for your build. I don't know if you heard me explain this before when I was helping Dragonfire, but you need to click that link, okay? And when you get to the build here, all right, you're going to save. Go to hover over save and click save this build, okay? It's going to prompt you to create a Micro Center account if you don't already have one. If you do, just log into that, then save the build. Or you can just hit add to cart, but if there's anything that is in-store only, it may not properly add to cart. So saving the build is ideal. You need to do that because if I'm going to be... oh, by the way, guys, we came in at 3738 out of 3800. Pretty nice. If you need a little extra from that, you can always go with the PCIe Gen 4 2 terabyte storage drive, M.2 drive, just so you know. That'll save you like $100 right there. Anyway, if you are going to be installing Windows on this, which I imagine you are, you're going to want to get a key for that. Just don't get the Windows license from them. It's $120. You can get an OEM key for about $100 less than that. $20 to $25 with my YouTube sponsor, VIP CDK deals, or other options like that. Just let me know once you have the link saved. So I did 2 builds tonight, and both of them were Micro Center. Nice. Let's see here. Cicero, just again, let me know once you have that build saved so I can close out here. Jam out a little bit. I think Cicero is trying to reply on a 2009 era BlackBerry device because they're just like not responding. I think you might have been the slowest responder out of anyone I have helped so far. Okay, you got it saved. Awesome. Okay, but hey, you got an award, so that's awesome. It's some kind of excellence. That's good. That's good. You might have told me things like 4 times throughout the entire thing where, yeah. It is a conversation back and forth, to be clear. Like, you can say anything you want to help guide me towards what's right for you. Thoughts on Nintendo Switch 2? It's good. It did what I was hoping for. Having USB-C on the top and way faster load times and 4K 60 in the dock. So that's going to be great for streaming because I like to stream at 4K. Did you react to the Witcher 4 Unreal Tech demo? Nope. Yeah. Not a big Witcher fan. I probably would be if I'd ever played it, but I never did. That's so many people are streaming Mario Kart World. It's crazy. Don't trust tech demos. Oh, okay. Can you go through that process of where to put a second M.2 so it's not sharing lanes? I have the X670E Tomahawk. Well, I was looking at the X870E Tomahawk Super T30. I don't know if it's going to be similar. don't know why I searched it there. Okay, so this is kind of stuff you got to look at, okay? Here, let me pull this over here, and then we will zoom in to make sure you can see it. So you got to look. You just go to the manufacturer's website, and you go to specifications, and it will lay all of that stuff out for you, okay? So you have three XP. No, that's the PCIe slots. Okay, now I'm looking at storage. But it does say PCIe 4 and M.24 share bandwidth. So you don't want to use your fourth M.2 socket while you have something in the fourth PCIe slot, okay? Let's see, storage though. RAID 5, no. RAID 10, no. So you don't have any limitations on your, no, it's RAID, storage. Here we go. PCIe 4 and M.24. Yeah, so don't use the fourth socket for your M.2 if you're going to have anything in the fourth PCIe slot. Don't trust tech demos. Who can say how many % of that will make it into the finished product, and they might be running on $10,000 of hardware? Yep. Yeah, but would have been better to have more than that. Oh, okay. I wish Nintendo would just port their games to PC and other platforms instead of trying to be monopolistic. The thing is, Force Gaming Network for nerds. It works for Nintendo. They sell record numbers of consoles and yada, 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 whatever, because it's a different gaming experience. It's a unique gaming experience with Nintendo. It just is. I guess just leave it to nerds to do the porting if they're not going to do it. How much more, Urkzilla, what's up? How much more performance do I see in gaming if I upgraded from an X870 board to X870E board? Is it worth it? No, it will make no difference for gaming. No, not at all. Don't let a motherboard that costs way more than it should and just has gaming in the name make you think that it'll make your gaming experience better. A motherboard is for connectivity, I/O, things like that. It's not going to have anything to do necessarily with the gaming performance unless you're talking about the very cheapest of motherboards with a high-end CPU. Then it's going to hold you back. But that's not where you're at because you're looking at X670 from X670E. Yeah. I read the books and everything. Just didn't like the game for the first 2 times I started playing. I just booted it during pandemic and it got me hooked. Nice. Is there even a difference? Let's be real. There is for those, like basically, if you know what the difference is between those 2 boards, you might be the type of person who needs that difference. If you don't know what the difference is, you probably don't need what the difference is. Unless I tell you you do. Because you tell me, hey, I want to do this, this, and that. I don't know what I need. Then I'm here to tell you what's right for you. You know, I mean, ideally anyway, and maybe I'm wrong, but generally I try to know what I'm talking about. But yeah, when it comes just to gaming, just don't cheap out on your motherboard. And going X870 is typically not cheaping out. You're getting, you know, something that's more than good enough. There's some boards that have limits like A620. That's what I'm talking about. Error Chaos. I covered that by saying the very, very cheapest motherboard with the high-end CPU, not going to do it. Don't do that. I said that in fewer words. What's the most important thing for a gaming PC? The GPU, generally. Yeah, basically, if you save $200 between one motherboard and the other, that's $200 that can go to getting you to a higher tier of GPU, maybe. So, yeah. I got X870 Eagle Wi-Fi motherboard. Congratulations. Good. I hope you have some good gaming experiences on there. What do you MSI MPG X870E? What do I what? What do you mean what do I MSI? What do I think? That could match Cicero's MSI 5080 Trio. I put the MAG X870E Tomahawk. because they had it in stock at Micro Center. I went by what they have in stock at Micro Center because if something like a motherboard, that is one of the most like delicate and complex part. That is the most delicate and complex part of a PC is the motherboard. Like if you had a motherboard and you dropped it, it's probably broken. If you drop a CPU, it's probably fine. That's all like solid stuff in there. Okay. Motherboards are very so if you have a DOA motherboard and you just have to drive it to Micro Center, that's way better than ordering it just to get a few extra features and having to RMA it back in case. But I just wanted to match the motherboard to the GPU so that they don't have to have separate RGB softwares because Cicero specifically picked a GPU with RGB in it. GPUs are kind of important everywhere there's compute. Tammy, that's true. However, there is that priority can kind of shift depending on what you're doing. If you're doing something that requires a lot of cores, then you need a good CPU too, and they share the priority. There's all kinds of different tasks, but because they said for gaming, that is easily the GPU. I have B650E PG Riptide Wi-Fi board from ASRock. Been rock solid for me from the past 2 years. Cool. Unless you have AM4 CPU, ask me how I know those pins look like a Boston Massacre. Sadly, I could not automate that. The reason I can say that easily now, Force, is because they're all LGA now, not PGA. Even then, you could I've seen plenty of circumstances where you could take a PGA pin and bend it back. If it's busted, it's busted. But generally, if you have steady hands and the right tools, you can bend it back. I've got a Ryzen 7700, and I'm gonna go with 9070 XT. I guess so. 9070 XT did really, really well at 1440p and did pretty well at 4K. Like it did some good things in 4K. Remember that AMD Radeon did not go high end. Just because it's the highest end 9000 series Radeon card, don't think that it is necessarily a high end card. It still has, it still has a lot of competition on the NVIDIA side. I mean, it's now had they stuck with their pricing that they announced, I'd be all about it. But since a lot of 9070 XTs are around the price of a 5070 Ti, if you can find a 5070 Ti for a similar price, get that. It'll do better at 4K. Okay? It's just COD and Halo I play mostly. Cool. AM4 CPUs getting stuck to the cooler are a nightmare. Very easy to mess up pins. It is. You can just yank them right out. It sucks. That was the big weakness of PGA. No problem, Urxilla. No problem. Thank you for providing me with information when you're asking questions. That does help. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and raid out before the ad hits. No one else has filled out a form, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll be back on Sunday with some gaming. Let's see who we're going to raid. I think we're going to raid Bastion Blue, who is doing some Super Metroid runs, and is currently sick, so say something nice to make her feel better, okay? You got it. If you want to keep learning more stuff about PC, feel free to hang out Tuesdays and Thursdays. I talk about PC stuff, or on Sundays on Twitch only. I do gaming stuff. And I'll be back for that on Sunday. So looking forward to upgrading since 2027, 28 to the latest AM5. Nice. Anyone who wants to join the raid that's over on YouTube, click the Twitch link that's in the description to come over to the channel and join me for the raid. The more the merrier. It's always fun that way. But we are going to go ahead and start that now. We have 1 minute and 39 seconds before the ad hits, so I want to do that now. All right, guys, thanks a lot. I'll see you on Sunday for some gaming. It's probably going to be, it might be Switch 2 related. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe some Tears of the Kingdom for the first time on here in 4K, in glorious 4K. I better switch to OBS before then. All right, guys, thanks a bunch. I'll catch you on Sunday, and until then, take care.
Let's go, nerds!